You see, most of the people who are taking birth in this planet, limited in 5 elements, with most of their memories, their perceptions and their consciousness limited in 5 elements. I believe that most of their script of their life has already been written, because most of them are taking birth as a result of their karma. And result of their karma is fixed. They will take birth and will follow exactly the script which has been written by some greater spirits, those who are their teachers or guide or whatever you want to call them. Only, and that's why no matter how wise things you continue to tell them, they will never listen, because their script is fixed and they will act according to their script always. They are not at liberty to act freely. Only a person whose karmas are in balance will be able to think a little bit freely. He will begin to think, and maybe he will begin to act freely also, and maybe one day he will be in a position to write his own script. Ready? Well, we were just discussing that the whole creation, I mean on earth at least, is created with the help of 5 different elements. But do we see 5 elements, or they are just in theory? Because what I have noticed, and I have been noticing quite a few things, that we see only what light is reflecting on. And light is reflecting only on 3 basic elements: earth, water and fire. Light is going through the air element, it is not touching the Akash element. So these 2 elements always remain invisible to us. And when I look at you or you look at me, we are not even seeing 3 elements. 71% water and more or less 29% of earth element which are visible to us. Fire element is inside, which is like catalytic agent to bring these 2 elements together, and a very little portion of air element which animates us. So first thing is to actually experience all 5 elements together and somehow to create a proportion in your body, equal proportion. Then actually your body will be complete. Then your consciousness will also change. Right. Which is sleeping on the brain, which can be like a coiled snake or like a very soft cloth put together. Whatever yogis are trying to describe in Hatha Pradipika, they are describing it literally, exactly. But because then this much knowledge was not available to common man about anatomy, this and that, so they took the example literally and began to imagine like a snake. So it is the consciousness. And I say Kundalini has 3.5 circles. Conscious, theta wave, subconscious and superconscious. Eyesight is the only way which will take you beyond everything. Refer to this line, compare it. When your conscious mind will be unconscious and your subconscious mind will be conscious, and it will be centered there. And remember, this feeling I is actually coming from there. So Jesus, when he said, I am the way, he may have meant I is the way. He was referring to the same thing.
I like your mind.
Thank you.
Thank you, Guruji.
It's like a honey.
Be my guest.
Like a honey.
Anybody mentioned this I am the way, I is the way?
You say generally the translation in English is that I am the way. Jesus said
But
it.
you mentioned that this is in.
You see, it is very simple. In normal translation, in normal grammatical way, they will connect I with am. I am the way. But when he said, telling I as a separate thing, that I is the way, you know your I and you will find your way. It's very simple to me to understand.
Okay, but Jesus didn't give any
Technique.
techniques to reach this state of
I
consciousness.
is inside you.
Yes.
You see, do you think all the fishermen club was ready to practice some very esoteric mystical things?
But
So if he see that they don't ready, why he disturb them?
No, it was needed at that time. Otherwise they will continue to remain as they were. At least it fired up their imagination and they at least created a religion around it. That somebody after 2000 years will come and begin to understand. At least they recorded it.
okay, but if they have even know some kind of techniques
So,
and approaches, how they able to do some kind of miracles when Jesus left and all 12 his apostles was able to do a lot of miracles? How?
like what?
Like I don't remember, but many of these stories about it. How can it be without any development? By just blessing of Jesus, or how?
Yes, if you are connected with some supernatural power, many miracles are possible. You don't have to be highly educated to perform miracles.
And what do you think, Guruji? Jesus have the real disciples?
Who?
Not, I don't know.
Jesus.
could have the real disciples, not the fisherman's club, but somebody who will able to understand his
I will
techniques.
say that you must remember the businessman who came forward to claim the body of Jesus. This was the duty of a real disciple, or a real friend, or a fellow Guru disciple. No fisherman came forward to claim his body. They never even came forward to give him water, like Good Samaritan did when he was carrying his cruse. So we must find out the real identity of that businessman who came forward to claim his body. In Bible, nothing is mentioned about him. Only that he came and claimed.
After that, Maria came to.
Yes, Mother and Maria, all these, Mary Magdalene and Maria.
Guruji, and maybe you know, because of nobody could tell me why she took the egg and said that he is alive now, and after that it became the symbol of Easter. What is the story? Do you know?
No.
No idea.
I don't know idea.
I have also no ideas about why egg is improvement of existence. I don't understand. What is the point?
Maybe, well, you see, my mind works in a different way. Maybe she was different to her own egg. Because only her egg actually was able to create Jesus' body. So that egg she might be referring, but people took it as a hen's egg or a hen or some duck's egg or something. We are all created by egg.
Because it's a very funny tradition on the Eastern to paint eggs in the different colors.
At least they were imaginative enough to start a festival in the name of religion.
Actually, in red color.
In red color, yes.
So as we were just discussing, that make your conscious mind unconscious and your subconscious mind conscious, then you will actually begin to feel the I inside. I, what is I? The feeling of being, that I am existing, I am there, I am. That I is the way beyond these five elements, beyond this mortality, beyond any limitations, and that eye, through this eye, you can reach boundless things, omnipotent things, and you will be, say, one with the time or maybe one with the world.
Thank you.
Many people are discussing about magic, black magic, white magic, this magic, that magic. But what I observe, that all the religion were started by some sort of magic. Because in every religion, the founder or who is being worshipped was displaying miracles. Maybe those miracles we are blaming that it was God's grace, but maybe they were because of the magic. Because a true magician can also create miracles. So I say that all religions are based on magic. And if you will think more with a very open mind and a bit different objective point of view, you will also agree with me. Well, most of the so-called educated world from the Christian point of view has been calling Hindus as idol worshippers or heathens. But I can just give you some points which are enough to prove that idol worshipping is the most scientific way of worshipping. In say modern physics, we see that particles change their behavior by observation. When you begin to observe the particle, it will change its behavior. It is an established thing. When we are creating an idol and it is being worshipped in a certain way, and then many millions of people are going there just to look at it, just to observe, after some time, the particles of that deity begins to change its behavior. Okay? Because their particles are there, it's a physical thing. And when particle will change their behavior, they will start behaving in a certain way, which will have a direct reciprocal effect on our behavior. So, it can be, say, understood that idol worshipping is highly scientific. We were discussing about Shambhavi Mudra, the state of Shambhavi Mudra. Many yoga instructors take it as some sort of practice when you put your eyes this way and that way, that they call Shambhavi. But says the sophisticated yogis and in Hatul Pradeep it is written that when your conscious mind is unconscious and your subconscious mind is conscious and you are actually, your concentration is centered on the feeling of being inside your subconscious mind and you are looking outside but your mind is concentrated in itself, that state of mind is called Shambhavi Mudra. You will not be breathing then. If you will breathe, it will be, I will say, maybe 1 or 2 breaths, at least 1 breath in 1 minute, no more than that. That will happen. And your eyes will go unblinking and your heart rate will slow down maybe to 10, 12 beats per minute. That is the state of Shambhavi. Well, everybody, most of the human beings are continuously discussing past, present and future. We focus on only these 3 dimensions of time. Why? Because we take birth, it is our past, we live a life, that is our present, and we will die one day, and that is our future. Because we have a beginning and sustaining of life and end one day, so we continuously think about everything in these 3 terms only. But time may have many different dimensions. But we are aware of only 3, past, present and future. Because we take birth, we live a life and we die. So only limited in this. And from the consciousness point of view, your conscious mind is your past because it is always centered in the past. That's why you will find every human being actually thinking that, 2000 years back time was so better and Jesus was there and Krishna was there and this. We are always worshipping the past. And this theta state of mind, theta wave, is the present state. And maybe entering the subconscious mind is our future. And if you go beyond it somehow, then you will experience the fourth state of consciousness. That may be superconscious. Fourth state of time. Just think of it.
And connection with the Kundalini for this.
Well, I will say most of the books are describing Kundalini as a snake with 3 coils, 3.5 coils. And I continuously saying that your consciousness is your actual Kundalini, your conscious mind is 1 coil, your theta state of mind is 2nd coil, and your subconscious mind is the 3rd coil. And beyond that, 4th, superconscious mind is the half coil of that Kundalini, so 3.5. So just translate Kundalini as consciousness, and your whole perception and all these things will be different. And you will be able to think much more deeply and more sensitively and maybe wisely also.
Guruji, now another thing clicks in my mind about children with theta waves and grown people. You know why our mind is always in the past. We never perceive all the things in their own direction.
Yes.
Only we are comparing with
But children are not worried
experience.
about past at all. They are always in present.
Yeah.
And they are not even worried about future.
Yes. We just compare with our
Exactly, I get it,
experience.
yes.
We never have the pure perception.
Yes, fantastic
You are
thoughts.
absolutely right. That's why the theta waves are natural state for them.
Yes.
Wow, that's great.
We just take objects to library, compare, fits, not fits.
No. And you see in Christianity also, most of the angels are described as 5-year-old children with wings. Only they have the wings of flight, imagination. They can. And also in Krishna's Golok, everybody is described as like 5-year-old child.
Yes.
Maybe they are trying to describe theta state of mind. Now we have given it a term, theta state of mind. Could be that. And also the same thing that I read in Bible, that until unless you be like a little child, you cannot enter the gate of heaven. Again they are referring to theta state of mind. This is what I think. Everybody is trying to say the same thing, but our understanding is not so, say, pure enough, so we keep mistranslating that. All religions are pointing to the same thing. We are here to experience infinity in our limitations, and also to experience limitations in infinity.
Wow.
Thank you.